we are stepping up the level of our services. Our goal is to treat your loved ones with the respect they deserve. We are taking our services to new heights. We are stepping in a new direction. Step into the new millennium with Golden Gate Funeral, where service begins and never ends. Hello and welcome to Ask the Undertaker, an open, honest look at the funeral service brought to you by Golden Gate Funeral Home and Crematory, with facilities in Fort Worth, Texas, Dallas, Texas, and Tallulah, Louisiana. I'm your host, John Beckwith Jr., and I'm joined today by the King of Pre-Need, Brother Eddie Pace.
Hello there.
We have the Queen of Pre-Need, Sister Deborah Abrams.
Hello, everybody.
We have our sister and Chief Financial Officer, Miss Carolyn Hanks.
Hello, everyone.
We have the pastor, M.T. Body, of the St. John Baptist Church of Hillsboro, Texas.
Praise the Lord, everyone.
And the pastor, A. Lewis Eaton, of the Church of Living God, Temple 280.
Blessings on you.
All right, today we're going to talk about customer service, coming from John, the 13th chapter, and the 15th verse. Pastor Eaton, you read that for us.
The word of God says, after he had poured water into a basin, he began to wash the disciples' feet.
Now that's customer service. So he's God himself, but even he did something for someone else. Mm-hmm. You would think it would have been just the opposite. Yeah.
That's right.
If
That's
Jesus
right.
showed up, you think you've been washing
His feet.
Mm-hmm. But even Jesus gave customer service. So Queen of Pre-Need, do we have to give customer service when it comes to a pre-need?
Yes, we do, Mr. Beckwith. We give customer service to our families, and the reason why we do that is because financially it protects them and it freezes the cost.
And Carolyn, we know we're going to offer something that they really need. Do I also have to give customer service with what they need?
Most definitely, John, because you want customer service wherever you go.
Okay.
And you have to return that. Our business is built on customer service, because if it was up to Dad, we would never have to collect a dime.
Okay.
But because bills do have to be paid, then of course they'll have to pay for the service. But customer service is first and foremost with him and with us.
And Queen said, we're going to help you financially.
Yes.
But also you're going to get customer services as well. Mm-hmm. What else does a pre-need help you with?
Emotionally.
Emotionally,
it actually makes sense that you do this yourself versus your family have to come out and make the arrangements.
Because it's going to be tough on them that day.
That's right, very tough.
Mm. And even if I'm selling you something that we feel like that you really need, financially and emotionally, we should still give you customer service, Pastor Body?
Yes, sir, because it's your wishes.
Okay.
It's my wishes. I decided what I want, how I wanted it. And once we have discussed this, I would expect the funeral home to give me that good quality customer service that I'm paying for.
And every week, Pastor Eaton, we talk about everybody should get a pre-need. Mm-hmm. And every week we say 3 reasons why you should get it. Financially, for emotion purposes, as well as your wishes are right. Mm-hmm. But Pastor Body say, even with the mixture of all that, if you're going to sell me something, some customer service should come with it. Do you agree with that?
Yes, sir, very much so. I think you would feel better. I know I would if I came in and the people who was helping me was treating me like I was someone.
Is that important to you, Queen?
Very important. Whenever I go somewhere, I want to be treated special. And if you give me special attention, then that lets me know that you really appreciate my service, and then I'll come back.
Even if you're a queen of pre-need, you're still supposed to treat the customer with their respect and with that service?
That's right.
What if a king of pre-need shows up at your house, or you walk in and get the chance to speak to the king of pre-need? Do those people deserve to have a good customer service from you?
Most definitely. And we do business the old-fashioned way. We will actually come out to your home. You know, a lot of people can't get out, so we will come out to your home and visit you in the comfort of your home.
Now that's some good customer service.
That's right.
It is.
What types of pre-need do we offer with our good customer service?
Well, first of all, we have the insured pre-need, Mr. Beckwith. And what that does, it allows you to go ahead and get a pre-need, and if death occurs after 2 years and 1 day, the whole thing is paid in full, and the family doesn't have to worry about it.
So if it's insured, I can do like a 10-year payment plan. But if I'm in it for at least 2 years, it'll pay for itself.
That's right.
The insurance will kick in and take care of it.
That's right.
What's another type of pre-need I can purchase?
You can actually be healthy and still buy a pre-need.
So you recommend, even if I'm healthy, what would be the advantage, Carolyn, to purchasing a pre-need while I'm healthy? Why am I even talking about a funeral if I'm healthy?
Well, the best thing about that, John, is that the cost is a lot lower.
Okay.
If you're ill or if you're older too, then you pay more. So if you're healthy, you will get a good price and you get a good service as well and not have to pay as much as someone else.
Pastor, you tell me, what if I'm sick? Can I still get that insured pre-need they talking about?
Yes, which is called a graded pre-need.
So I can still get that?
And you can still get it.
Even if I'm sick?
Even if you're sick.
Queen, that's unbelievable. That sounds almost too good to be true, doesn't it?
You can actually be incarcerated, have loved ones that are incarcerated, in a nursing home, terminally ill, it doesn't matter.
And still get
a pre-need.
an insured pre-need.
That's right.
Now, Karen, there's another type of pre-need as well. I like to hear a chief financial officer talk about it.
Yeah, because those two things usually don't go together,
Okay.
chief financial officer and free.
Free.
But we do offer a free pre-need. And what that allows your family to do is still have the emotional stress relieved from them, as well as your wishes will be carried out. And then it's up to you whether you want to finance or fund that pre-need, but you don't have to. Because we still have a lot of people who come in and say, I have plenty of insurance. And I know y'all tell me don't use insurance for burial purposes, but that's what I have it for and I have enough. But we still need to emphasize to them, you must still do the other two. Take the emotional stress away from them and your wishes carried out in that free pre-need.
So if I get a pre-need, don't pay any money for it, I have taken away the emotional stress from my family.
Yes.
Of making decisions at the worst of their life. And then also my wishes are in
Right.
writing.
And
so I can still have a pre-need and not pay
one dime
yes, for
sir.
it. Isn't that something? The king and queen and I was in Fiji together. Had a great time. And the conversation that came up there is, should I purchase a pre-need or insurance? And we had a pre-need agent there, and we had an insurance agent there.
Right.
And of course, the insurance agent would say, listen, insurance is the way to go. And the pre-need agent, she said, no, pre-need is the way to go. What do you think about it? What do you say to a person that says, should I purchase insurance or should I purchase pre-need? Which one should I purchase?
Well, I always tell them that they go together.
Okay.
You should purchase your life insurance for your inheritance. Because you're telling your family you love them, you want to take care of them. Buy life insurance and fill in the dollar amount which you want to leave them. You decide how much you want to leave them.
So you're saying purchasing insurance is a great idea.
Yes.
But also purchasing a
pre-need for your burial.
And it was interesting while they were going back and forth, Carolyn, the king was sitting there and he didn't say a word.
Didn't say a word.
You know, and I asked, I said, why didn't you jump in? He said, listen, they go hand in hand. You don't take a side, you purchase both of them. He said they're twins. They go together. What do you say about, he told us about the insurance. Why not use insurance to bury your loved one?
Because the insurance, as the king said, should be left as an inheritance for the family. It should be left to carry on the responsibility of paying the bills, the mortgage, the college education, or whatever you need. And that way the pre-need can take care of the funeral services, and your family doesn't have to worry about coming out of pocket. Because what happens with the pre-need, the price doubles.
Okay.
Every 10 to 15 years, it's going to double in price. So the older you get, the more it's going to go up. But if you lock it in and freeze it with a pre-need, that allows you to actually have extra money for your family, for your wife.
So if I purchase an insurance, my funeral is still going to continue to go up in price.
That's right.
But if I purchase a pre-need, my funeral is going to. So, Carol, if I purchase a $10,000 pre-need today, I never have to worry about my funeral again.
Exactly.
But if I purchase a $10,000 insurance policy, I still have to worry about my funeral.
You do, because your pre-need and your funeral will go up. It doesn't stop the price. As Deborah just stated, your insurance will not freeze that cost for you. And then you have no money left as an inheritance for your family.
And you may not even have enough to bury
to pay for your funeral.
If that funeral went over that amount of money.
Yeah,
we've seen this too many times, Pastor Body. Family being from rural Louisiana, those burial policies, $500 policies, $250 policies, made sense when they took them out.
Yes, it did.
But doesn't make sense now because it's not enough to bury them now.
No, it's not, Brother John. And as we know, as time keep going, the cost of living keep rising. That's why it's important that you do get a pre-need and some insurance. And as we were saying, the pre-need will take care of your funeral expenses, and the insurance will take care of your life expenses for your family, because it's called life insurance. It's for you after you left this life, so your family. It's for the living.
Not for
the deceased.
So it should go
hand in hand.
Hand in hand. If and when I purchase insurance, because we want everybody to have insurance as well as a pre-need, we're always concerned about beneficiaries.
Right.
Tell us a little bit about beneficiaries.
Well, you got to make sure that the beneficiary is of age.
Okay.
They have to
Do
be
not leave your children under 18
as
beneficiaries.
beneficiary.
Well, what's another thing about beneficiaries, Carol?
You have to be able to trust them.
Okay, because they can run off with your money.
They can. You do not have to use it for any purpose that you left. They can simply take it in, as you stated, and Brother Pace's favorite word, it's a blank check.
Right.
They fill in the blank and they go on with their life, doing nothing that you ask them to do.
Well, it's another thing we got to be careful beneficiaries.
They need to be alive.
Okay.
Yeah, we know Mother was beneficiary of the insurance for all the years, and now Mother has passed. You need to have a beneficiary, and you need to change that beneficiary after Mother has passed on, so that the family can use those funds for whatever purpose they were left behind for.
And if you have a deceased beneficiary, Carol, we got to go through a few hoops, don't we?
Yes, we do, and it, perhaps could prolong your service, because it has to be verified and proper paperwork has to be filled out. So that's why we're asking you right now, pull all those policies out, and anyone that has passed away, it's a matter of just calling the funeral home and we will help you get it changed.
Now, King of Pre-Need talked about that blank check. But if I take out a pre-need, it's a thing we sign, Queen, call a irrevocable assignment.
That's correct.
My family can't use that money as a blank check. They have to use that money to bury me with.
That is right.
They have to give me what I paid for.
That's right.
We don't leave that discretion up to anybody with a pre-need.
That's right.
That's why they go hand in hand. Now, we talk about that assignment, irrevocable assignment, meaning you have to use it. But Carolyn, some people purchase insurance and it's not assignable. Let's talk about that.
There are some companies out there, John, that will not assign the policy. And that simply means they will not pay the funeral home or a third party a portion of that money to be used for your funeral if that's what you designated it for.
So you purchase this insurance policy for whatever amount of money.
Right.
And you say, well, if anything happens, this insurance is there. But that insurance will not take an assignment. So your family is going to have to come out of their pocket, pay for your funeral, and then wait for that insurance policy
to give them their money
back. Give them their money back. And most people just don't have that kind of money sitting around.
No, they don't.
Waiting on someone to pass. They think that insurance is just automatically going to pay for it.
Going to take care of it.
But that's not always the case. We have to ask, especially job insurances, will you take
an assignment?
An assignment. That's the key word there. A lot of times they'll come in to make arrangements, Pastor Eaton, and that policy is less than 2 years old.
Yes.
And that's what we call contestable. Let's talk a little bit about that. Can we take an assignment on a policy that's less than 2 years old?
No, sir, we can't.
We just can't take it?
We just can't take it. And that's
a tough one.
Sometimes we think we ain't had enough time, but that's why we have to look at that effective date that we really took it out.
Less than 2 years old is contestable. Now, King, you sold insurance for over 25 years as a manager, general agent. And we know as agents, we tell families when you take out this policy, it goes into effect immediately. As soon as you write this check, as soon as you make your first payment, this policy is in effect. Why wouldn't it be able to take an assignment on it if it's less than 2 years?
Because you have to be in it at least for 2 years for the funeral home, for Golden Gate to accept it. You need to be in that policy at least for 2 years, because when it's contestable, all that means is investigation. They're going to have an investigation, the insurance company, and just to make sure that everything you stated on that application lines up.
Queen, if we're waiting on an investigation, we're not guaranteed money, are we?
That's right. It doesn't mean that they're not going to pay, though.
Okay, it doesn't mean they're not going to pay, but there's no guarantee
that the funeral home is going to get their money.
Yeah. And Carolyn, is that important as a CFO?
Very much so. I just stated before, we give very good customer service, but bills have to be paid. And that bills have to be paid regarding your funeral. Cemeteries, flowers, caskets, all type of merchandise. Those vendors need to be paid. And therefore, we must have a guarantee of payment from your insurance company.
Insurance, pre-need, hand in hand, everything goes together. What about a will?
Yes, very important, Brother John. It eliminates chaos and confusion among the family members. It's very important that you have one.
Got to have a will,
You got to.
Yes.
Chaos and confusion, what's another one?
Legal matters. If there is no will and nothing is written, then you're going to have to go to court. There is going to be a judge that's going to have to make a decision about your affairs.
If I have a will, I can cut out a lot of legal matters because I've already resolved that myself.
Yes,
we don't want other folks in our business.
No, sir.
And a will kind of help keep them.
It will.
Give me the third reason, Queen.
The decisions will be made by me and not made by others.
You don't want other folks making decisions for you.
Judges.
Who should get your dress?
That's right.
Who should get your favorite chair, as Carolyn would say, or your car? I don't want to judge. I don't want my family. I don't want anybody making a decision for me. And that will can cut a lot of that out. And Carolyn, it all boils down to this. Customer service.
Yes, sir.
Customer service.
Customer service.
And there's a few things we're going to go over about customer service. And one of them is we want to tell everybody, if you're going to be very good at customer service, you must have the ability to listen. Help me with that a little bit, King. What do we mean by you have to have the ability to listen?
Well, you've got to listen to what your customer is telling you, what they want, what type of service they want. You can't just give them what you want. You got to be able to listen and determine what they want. And you have to listen.
Help me out with that, Queen.
Well, to listen to me, Mr. Beckwith, means just to be quiet, just to shut up.
We both can't be talking at the same time.
Just to shut up and just listen to what the family needs and wants.
So if I combine the king with the queen, I'm good to go.
Right.
He say, listen to what they want. You say, you can't be talking to them.
Right.
And you say, I can't force nothing on nobody.
That's right.
So I got to listen to what you want. I got to be quiet so I can give you what you want. And that's the best way to give customer service. Carla, what about this now? I heard what you said, but I didn't understand what you said. We find a lot of people are listening, but they don't quite understand. Help us with that customer service trick.
Well, what we've been taught and what we understand is that you repeat back to the person what they said to you. And if there was any misunderstanding at that point, they will correct you. So they know that you heard them, you listened to them, and now you understand what they said to you.
You have to understand what was said to you.
Yes.
I listen, but I don't quite understand. So you say if I repeat it back to you, and if there's a miscommunication, we can straighten it out.
Yes, sir.
What if I just not one of those people that's able to communicate? Maybe I'm Moses and I just stutter a little bit and I need an Aaron to kind of help me out. Help me out with that, Pastor. Is that important in customer service that I'm able to communicate verbally?
Yes, it is very important, Brother John. You have to know what you're talking about when people are talking to you as well.
Okay.
And that'll help you be able to understand what they're saying. But at the same time, not only must you know, you have to verbally communicate with them and don't talk over their head. Put it in layman's term. The Bible says Jesus even taught to where even as a child could understand it. So as a customer service representative, when we're in there talking to the families, we can't talk over their head. They don't understand the funeral terminology.
Because you may know a lot more than what they're saying, but you got to stay where they are.
Where they are. They don't know funeral terminology.
That goes a long ways. Right. Even as a pastor, presentation is everything when it comes to the sermon, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
You might have a great sermon, but if you can't present it.
That's it. That's it.
If you don't have the verbal communication to present it, what happens?
You lose your congregation.
Okay.
And that's one thing personally that happened when I thought I was really, when I came out of school, I thought I was set. And I bought this message, and the lady came up to me after service and said, Reverend, I'm sure it was a beautiful message, but we didn't understand the word you said. so you have to be able to present it where people can understand.
You got to have a verbal communication.
Yes, sir.
Now, what about written communication? Is that important, Queen, when it comes to customer service?
It's very important, Mr. Beckwith. And that's why at Golden Gate Funeral Home, we always give a reminder sheet to our clients.
Okay.
And it's in writing, and we go over it step by step to make sure that they understood everything that we told them.
So you give it to me in writing.
In writing.
I'll make sure you understand me verbally, but then also it's going to be something in writing that you can read over, and we can read over together.
Or later on, after they forget, they can go back and look at it and see what they purchased.
And make sure there's no misunderstanding.
That's right.
Is empathy important, Carolyn, when it comes to?
Oh, especially in customer service. Especially customer service in funeral business. You have to understand and show that you know what they're going through. It's not about you. When you walk in that room, you have to take on that personality of the person you're talking to and be able to help them through those funeral arrangements.
I have to understand there's something going on, Carolyn.
Yes.
This is a tough time for you, and if I don't know that, I'm not going to be very good at what I'm doing.
Exactly.
I know I need to get some things across to you. I know some things that need to be done, some things need to be signed, but I can't forget that right now that you have lost
a loved one.
Or in a pre-need situation, we're talking about your loved one passing away.
Right.
And I have to keep that in mind if I'm going to be good at
Customer
service.
Yes, sir.
What about, and this is a tough one for old school, what about data entry and some basic computer skills?
Well, you have to know how to send an email.
Okay.
or
if you're going to be good at customer service.
That is definitely right, because I have people call me all the time, and they can't stop by the funeral home.
Right.
So they say, well, email me the information, and that's what you have to do. And you have to be educated to do that, because it's very helpful in this age and time.
It's just that age and time.
That's
That's
right.
what the king said, Queen.
Yeah.
It is.
It said that snail mail is not
Gotta
going
get on board.
You got to get on board. A lot of times we don't want to, but if we're going to be good at customer service, Pastor Body, we're going to have to get on board. What about a little human psychology? Is that important to know if you're going to be a good customer service person?
It is, Brother John. You have to be able to understand what they're going through. You have to be able to understand they're going through a grief process.
And Carolyn said, and empathy.
Yeah.
You have to know that.
You have to know that.
What's some of the grief process? And that's saying you're a psychologist.
Right.
But if you're going to give customer service when it comes to funeral business, there are certain things you need to know from psychologists.
Right.
And what is that?
Well, there's anger.
Okay.
You can walk in the room and the family's already angry. And you have to be able to handle their anger as well as give them personal customer service.
And that's one of the grief. What's another one, Carol?
One of them is denial.
Denial. They don't even want to.
They don't want to be there. Why am I in this funeral home?
Okay.
Who are you and what am I doing here? So you have to recognize that as soon as you walk in that room so that you can help them move through that stage so that you can help them arrange that service.
So we have denial, then we have anger. That's a tough one to deal with. Yes. And then sometimes they just bargaining.
Yes,
Carol.
they do.
They're kind of going
back and
forth. And eventually, Pastor, we want to get them to an acceptance stage, right?
That's right. That's right.
And we just have to know where they are. We got to have a little psychology.
Right. That's right.
In order to do our
needs
job.
to be done.
What about some acting skills? You got to be able to act a little bit to be a good customer service?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And you know, really, that's in mostly every profession. I notice even at the church, sometimes I have to put on the act, especially when I go in business meetings. You know, I have to come out there, I have to have a smile and can't come out there showing that, you know, they really got to me.
Acting skills. Is that being deceitful?
No,
Okay.
Because you can't bring your problems from home into the job. When the people walk in that door, you need to have on a friendly face.
Even if you're not feeling
That's
friendly,
right.
it's time to put on the friendly
face.
if you're going to do some customer
That's
service.
right, because it's not about you or your family at that moment. It's about the family that you're with.
That's
acting
right.
skills.
That's
When you
right.
think about that, Queen, some acting skills.
You got to be upbeat even on a bad day, Mr. Beckwith.
Even when you're feeling down, you need to bring in.
And I tell
some
my
energy.
grandchildren all the time, sometimes they'll try to get sad or cry or be upset about something, and I tell them, straighten up your face and get right. You know?
That's right. Even if you're not feeling it,
Even if you don't
you
feel
better
it.
look like you're feeling it. And that's just good customer service.
is.
It is.
What about your memory, Carl? A lot of times people say, I just don't remember things as well as I used to. Ability to memorize. You think that's important when it comes to customer service?
Very much so, John. You have to remember what the families told you in order for you to give the service that they require and that they need. So you have to practice those memory skills. You have to go home, you have to practice with your kids, you have to practice in the mirror. But you, as a professional, always have to practice memorization skills.
What about time management, Pastor? How important is time management when it comes to customer service?
Well, you can't be slowful to go in and serve the family. When they come in, they need immediate attention. That's number one. Then when you get with them, you can't waste their time by babbling and not just going in, understanding what they're going through. You have to go in with a heart of compassion.
And take care of business.
And take care of business.
Within a time.
Within a time and manner.
And you can't rush me.
No, don't
Maybe
rush me.
time management is not wasting time. Maybe time management is just, I need to talk about it.
Right.
And you need to
listen to it.
Oh, okay. You can't be in such a hurry to get to your next appointment that you're not taking care of the one at hand.
Right.
What about managing your personal emotions? You say you tell them kids, straighten up your face. But if I straighten up my face and I'm really feeling something, later on, am I stressed out because of that? Especially in film business, people ask me quite often, Queen, how you work in film business? Don't you go home and be sad? Do we have to manage our personal emotions, Queen?
We do, Mr. Beckwith, and a lot of times we are with families and we're saddened by their loss. And sometimes we go through the grieving with them while they're grieving. But when we get home and everything, we can't take that to our families. We need to leave that at the funeral home as well.
Is that difficult to do, King, to manage your personal feelings, your emotions?
No, I've learned over the years that you cannot take what you're going through on the job home to your family.
That's not fair to your wife
it's
or
not
your
fair
children.
To them. Even though you done had a rough day, why take it home to your family?
Carolyn, as a supervisor, we got to evaluate every situation. And we got to be careful when we're evaluating that. We're not thinking everybody should be treated the same.
Exactly.
And every situation goes under some guideline or rule we've came up with. Because if that happens, we're in trouble when we start treating everybody the same.
The same. And, you know, you have a rule. There is no rule at the funeral home that goes above customer service. And then you're exactly right, John. Being a manager, being a supervisor, you cannot treat everybody the same. And they may not be able to manage their personal affairs that day, but you have to help them manage it and make sure that everything is okay so that the customers, when they walk through the door, we're ready to take care of them.
Because everybody don't mean you well. No. But everybody don't mean you harm.
Right. That's true.
So you have to evaluate that situation every time and don't treat everybody
the same.
Customer service. Watch Ask the Undertaker every Saturday night right here on channel 47.2 at 7 o'clock p.m. and every Sunday morning at 5:30 a.m. on channel 21. And you all know my favorite,
the radio
show every Saturday morning from 10 to 11 o'clock a.m. on Heaven 97. That's 970 a.m. on your dial. And you can actually call in.
That's right.
Ask questions. And we'll be more than happy to answer any of them. And remember, if you can't get enough of Ask the Undertaker, we're on 24 hours a day. And that's on GoldenGateFuneralHome.com. May God bless you. May God keep you is our prayer. We are stepping up the level of our services. Our goal is to treat your loved ones with the respect they deserve. We are taking our services to new heights. We are stepping in a new direction. Step into the new millennium with Golden Gate Freeway, where service begins and never ends.